death penalty is a policy which allows the state to execute a person for a crime. This is a very controversial issue on which the presidential candidates' beliefs differ greatly. The death penalty, or some form of it, has been present throughout history, but as freedom of speech became more prominent in more countries, a debate started over its inhumane qualities. In the past 40 years, it has been abolished in several nations such as Australia and Canada. On this issue, John McCain's stance lies closer to our own. His stance is that the death penalty should be applied for federal crimes committed by persons over the age of 18, and racial statistics should not be taken into consideration in appeal cases. Unlike John McCain, Barack Obama believes that the death penalty should be applied in the case of terrorism or when an action is deemed to be worthy by the community. Also, according to his recent memoirs, Obama does not believe that the death penalty does much to deter crime. It is foolish to rely on the community's opinion, for communities can be, and most likely will be, biased. Thus, McCain's views seem more organized and better formed.
First, the death penalty should be applied only for federal crimes. A federal crime is a crime that is either made illegal by U.S. federal legislation or a crime that occurs on U.S. federal property. This would lower the number of wrongful or unjust executions. Because federal crimes include such things as kidnapping, assault, and assassinating the president, nothing short of a worthy crime would ever be in question for a death penalty case. This also regulates the use of the death penalty and prevents it from getting out of hand. Second, racial statistics should not be used in the death penalty appeal cases. Using a person's race as support in a case is utterly ridiculous. The Constitution grants that all men are created equal, and since the courts must follow constitutional law, it is only just that this statement be upheld, and people should not be treated differently because of their heritage. In the realm of federal crimes, statistics are not good justification for accusations, for just because the majority of murderers may be black males, this does not mean that all black males are murderers, and at the same time it does not mean that all white males are not murderers. Thus, racial statistics should not be used to justify a pardon, nor a conviction. The following is an example of how racial statistics seem to have affected our court systems, and is a good example of why McCain has a good reason to oppose the use of racial statistics in murder trials. The majority of those executed are white. Since 1929, white murderers have been more likely to be executed than black murderers. This does not portray our country's belief in equality at all. Finally, the death penalty should not be applied for persons under the age of 18. It is highly unlikely that children under the age of 12 or 13 may commit a murder. Teen gangsters and other rebellious or troubled teens could commit federal crimes. Although what they did is still a federal crime, it is not right to give children the death penalty because they cannot even legally speak for themselves. They need adult consent for everything they do, and their signature on legal documents is virtually worthless in court without a parent's guardian signature to accompany it. Example, a release form. Plus, I couldn't even imagine the public's wrath if they knew that a child had been strapped to a lethal injection cot. Further, it is incomprehensible why we are executing minors, while there are many extremely dangerous criminals on death row who have committed horrific crimes. Many states, including Florida, have a minimum age of 16 for the death penalty. In fact, the Supreme Court decided that the 8th and 14th Amendments forbid the execution of offenders who are under the age of 18 when their crimes were committed, in the Roper v. Simmons case in 2005. Although the United States as a whole stopped allowing executions on persons under the age of 18 since 1990, there have still been some juvenile executions reported.
The death penalty is a very controversial issue due to its arguably inhumane qualities and has been debated for decades. We believe that the death penalty should be applied for federal crimes committed by persons over the age of 18, and racial statistics should not be taken into consideration in appeal cases. This could be maintained by continuing to apply the death penalty, but not lightly, meaning maintaining a certain strictness as to the application and not enforcing it for petty crimes or cases with cloudy evidence. So in conclusion, we believe that John McCain has a platform which represents a thorough understanding of the law and represents a just guidance for application of the death penalty.